Hey, Don here. Okay, so I'm testing the CameraFi Live app again, but one reason why I'm doing it is because I wanted to see if it would still work because my favorite camera app gives the best quality videos on my phone here is this Alcatel A45L is an open camera that I've used so far anyway. I have two of these phones. One of them works mostly never a problem, but this is about the fourth time that it has crashed and stopped working. Well, it doesn't completely crash, it's just that every time you start a video, it shuts itself back off within like a half a second. And I kind of looked at first, I don't even remember what all I saw, but I didn't see any specific, you know, information on this problem. It's a great app, see, and it's easy to set up. I mean, you can leave it, or you can go into those menus and really set it up. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screen and not holding the camera. Um, you can go into those menus and set it up. For instance, I set it for 30 frames per second, uh, 10 megabits per second, and the highest quality this phone will do. Resolution size, and this phone will only do like 2.07 megapixels though. It's called a 5 megapixel phone, but it won't do that in video, and it won't do quite. See, it doesn't do quite 5 in pictures either. But these are my first smartphones, so I'm learning about this difference between the advertisements and what you get. But I only paid $15 each for them. That's why I have two of them. So they're just pocket computers for me, and pocket cameras. So because I didn't have this is the best cameras I've got right now. So. Um, anyway, it open camera. I've been using it again for a couple of days, and it just did it again. So I can reinstall it. I uninstalled it, and then I clean the cache and there's always these like 0 byte or 2 or 3 byte files left behind, video files. I deleted those. This is the phone I'm using right now. I have more than one, so the other one, so you can't install it because it's already on there. It's weird how it says installed, but then it's not necessarily installed. So I'm doing it, and I'm in Google Play, and so I just did it. Now, having a while, the last time I did it, it actually got an error and said can't download, and I waited a while and I got tired of waiting, and I rebooted the phone thinking that would help. Well, then it just quit trying. So that's not a good way to fix it. I think there's been a few other times when downloads were slow, and I just left the phone alone, and it finally installed. So I won't reboot it this time. I ended up reinstalling it by going to my backups, and I keep a folder just called backups, and this is my Fedora Linux system. Can't find the backup folder. It's not in alphabetical order. I usually this folder is the one. There it is. But see, I have backups and an application called All-in-One Toolbox that I really. It will back them up. So that's uh, this is my backup of my backup. This is on a computer, but you can go in an All-in-One Toolbox and you go to the restore area and restore apps. So that's what I did, and it was fine until today. So. And even if this one might have been a little older than the one that I had, uninstalled, but it'll automatically update. I have my phone set to automatically update, so that was fine. But anyway, I imagine unless something went wrong. One time I did that and it didn't fix it, but usually it fixes it. But there's got to be something about this phone that's doing it. I don't know what. Oh yeah, there is one thing that I did note and didn't realize this time. Sometimes it does get to using the battery pretty quickly, really quickly. And if you turn it off, take the battery out just for a second or two, and then put it back in, it'll straighten it back out. Now, that's in the manual. And I just noticed that that's when it quit working, is after I did that. So, but you know, I didn't have the camera running or anything. I didn't have anything running. I made sure I had everything shut down. Well, I'm gonna have to take that back because the only way you can be sure things in Android are shut down is using another app to shut everything down. So maybe it was running in the background at that time. Could have been. Because I didn't see it on my window doesn't mean. Yeah, I should have used all-in-one toolbox, or I have a vast. It's actually easier to do that with. I have a vast antivirus and several Avast tools, and one of them, you know, will close running apps and stuff for you. There's a bunch of the apps I have, and what I'm using right now is CameraFi, I think. Yeah, CameraFi. It's pretty cool. It what I thought was cool about this is you said you could yeah, you can use your camera phone or you can use an USB camera. So it says you could plug in a DSLR camera into it, but from the phone, um, I had to select. There's two modes in it as far as the quality. Doesn't have near as many settings as control as Open Camera does. Of course, Open Camera is not a broadcasting app. It's just to save videos on your phone. But anyway, I had to set it to the lower resolution. Here's the video sizes right there. SD, HD, and 920 by 1080. I'm not sure. I can't remember now if I'm in 640 or 1280, but I know I'm not in 1920 by 1080. Because it wouldn't. What would happen is it would let you do it, but the audio and video wouldn't be in sync. They couldn't keep up, and that's probably I'm 60 megabits down and 4 megabits up on my ISP with my ISP. But the phone, the best it'll get, I just checked it a while ago, was 29, 30 megabits download. So that's the best it'll get. And the upload, it's still the same. It's still always right at whatever my service is, about 4 megabits. But for some reason the download is slow. It's got to be the chip in the phone. And that's on Wi-Fi. I don't even have phone service. I'm not using, any data service. So I'm just using these for pocket computers, and I use them on Wi-Fi. So, and I tried this one here, HD Camera Pro, and once I got it installed, and I looked in it, it looked just like Open Camera. I was like, what? And so finally I realized this is just an earlier version of Open Camera. I compared the version numbers. This is version 1.0, and Open Camera is at, I don't know if this, what I'm figuring is that someone just cloned the Open Camera app. They just changed it's open source. Open Camera is open source, so anyone can legally and happily use it if they want. But the current version of Open Camera is 1.33, and it has a lot more adjustments and features than that other one. I left them both on there, but and when Open Camera broke, I tried the other one and it was broke too. And the other one was working. Since when I had trouble installing Open Camera again, I went ahead and I went and looked for some other apps, and I installed that other one. And then I thought, well, that doesn't have very many features, and it turned out it was Open Camera anyway, just a clone of it. So I said, well, I'll just try Open Camera again. I thought, well, I'll just install it. I plugged in with the USB to my computer and copied that file back over there because I had deleted my backups to save space. And anyway, deleted them off the camera, So this is really, more of just a record of what I'm doing here for myself. And I'm streaming it just because I wanted to test this out. And I'll show you a little bit of what I've been doing lately, just for the heck of it. I've got my, when I'm on this computer right here, I have several. When I'm on this one, I can do desktop recordings with desktop app and Fedora 23 Linux. GTK record my desktop's what I use, and that's my mic. I was doing that today for quite a while, and over here I didn't use it this way yet, but I got my other phone. I've been using it a lot. Can you see it? I can't see the preview. I have the phone strapped to a cassette case with rubber, and it works quite well as a tripod, but I knew I had that little short tripod. Only thing that's a little tricky, the light on the monitor is throwing everything off here. So let me hold this here if I can and just go to another screen on the computer. Maybe it'll show up now. Still might be throwing it off. It might be working, but I can't tell because I can't even see if I'm getting the phone in the picture. There. Okay. So earlier today, I thought, well, why can't I just strap that cassette case to my little short baby tripod? So I did. But see, you can see where it's at. I was trying to get a still, like just now I was holding my camera and shooting the screen of the computer. Of course, I can't hold still. And that'll hold still. It's a little bit crooked, but it's such an odd angle that you can't even think about anybody reading what's on the screen, so I just didn't use it. I left it sitting there. And but I don't think I'd want to carry that outside, or thing I was wanting to do is carry it outside and use it. I just need to put a, like what I'm saying is what I'm showing. I can't see where my finger's going down in there. But it's the little screws just sticking up through there, and I've got rubber bands in there to hold it. Of course, I couldn't trust that for anything. But I was thinking, I didn't want, this is a good cassette case, I didn't want to drill holes in it. I was thinking, drilling a hole in it. But heck, if I got me a piece of an 1/8 inch wood or plastic or anything, like a giant washer, kind of thing, or a big washer, and a 1/4 20 nut. I have one that because I've done that with webcams before, with those things. I've got 2 of those. Got our wing nut, like this right here. I put that on here because on my little table, because I ran out of regular 1/4 20s. I have some those nylon locking ones on that side, but I put all new nuts and bolts in it to get it to quit falling apart. It's a really neat little table, but it's bad about falling apart. It had screws in it, had sheet metal screws in it. So anyway, yeah, something like that. Make my tripod, and also was thinking I could use some like sticky back tape with over here on this side. Put some sticky back tape, but not just that sticky back tape, but the stuff with Velcro on it, and then put some on the other side of the cassette deal, or there's other things you could use as a mount. And then you can take it on and off, because there's one thing I don't like about the rubber bands. They've held it really well. That's a racer down in the bottom there. Keep getting it up out of getting it up where I needed it to be. I can't see what I'm shooting again. There it is. The racer's down in there. I probably showed it already. But the eraser is behind those rubber bands there. And it's kind of fun. I just figured that out sitting there. It took me about 10 minutes to get it all set up. Been that way for a month now. I've been using it. But anyway, the rubber bands across the top here make it, you know, I can get the camera going and stuff, but there's a lot of things I can't do. So that's why I was thinking about using another on there. But I didn't really want sticky stuff on my phone case either. So anyway, if you see this video and you got some better ideas, let me know. Okay, and if you know any better camera apps that if you don't know about Open Camera, check it out, and then let me know what you think of it, and tell me what you think of. There it is, the page again. I'll get closer. Yeah, I'll make this as bad of a video as I possibly can. Check out Open Camera. It's a great app, but I haven't tried but 3 so far. The one that came on the phone, which is real basic, Open Camera, and then what turned out to be an older version of Open Camera. So I love open source software. I use Linux. I don't really use Windows much at all, and so I like open source. I can't stand blinking ads and all that stuff. There's been some apps that I installed and didn't even try them because they blink so bad I couldn't read the screen. So if you know any that don't blink at me too much and that work really well and have a lot of settings, so I like to make my videos, save them as MP4s, not the regular phone format. I always forget those letters, and I'll be able to set my resolution the way I want it and everything. Like I said, I've got mine 30 frames per second and 10 megabits per second. I tried actually, let's see, what was the most I could do? Oh, I could do 20 on this phone, but it was huge files to fill up my hard drive. So, because I couldn't leave them on my, even with 64 gigabyte SD cards in the phones, I still had to, I was filling them up, and so I might even go down below 10 if it doesn't matter if you can't see it, I mean, I'm making videos for YouTube most of all, or just for myself here on the computer, and it's not like this is in DSLR or anything, it's not a 4K camera, so if it looks, clear and you can see what's going on, and then having more megabits, might be overkill. So I haven't experimented anymore because I didn't want to have my videos any less sharp than they are. So, but I may need to because they're still too big, really. 15-minute video, 30-minute video is probably going to be about 2 gigabytes or something like that, I think, at this resolutions and this megabits. Okay, so anyway, this is Don, and that's my little spill on Open Camera on CameraFi Live. All right, bye-bye.